The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com.
Overkill Derby products at overkillderby.com.
Boat Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone National. Syopa Racing and SyopaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Master. Reckless Abandon Derby apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
You like watching that tire?
He's ever watched the beginning with you
We'll have to
before.
put rupture and fuel cells up there now.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Fuel everywhere.
I don't know if we want to do that. That was scary. All the times that happened, every time it was scary. But he's got a new piece heading out to him. Sean's got a Catskill Famine Performance tank on the way.
Cool.
And it's going to be a custom job, as it were, because, that's how he does things. He wants it all custom made. Can't really go wrong with that. Crash Course Podcast, episode number 106 on deck as we get ready to go for Blizzard Bash here. We leave a week from tomorrow. The Fantasy League is filling up quickly. Teams are pouring in. We're now approaching 500 with that, and the deadline is next Monday. I think next Monday or next Tuesday. You know what? For all intents and purposes, I'm going to say next Tuesday morning because we're going to be on a plane at 10 o'clock, and I don't want to be doing what we did last year where we're still flying down and trying to load those teams running off of a hot spot. That's going to be kind of fun. So,
But when you mean we, you mean you.
Yeah, trying to hit off of a hot spot and do those team updates, but it worked. It worked, and what a shakeup. What a shakeup that has been with Cheesy's team being added to the main draw, and then on top of that, we've got Joe Molman's team pulling out. On top of that, we also had the changes. So Svinjan not in the lineup. Jeremy Frederick having to jump to the 80s division. So lots of musical chairs being played out. Rick Kostonik's been on two teams, and now he's on a third team, and he almost made it back into the main draw with that team with the ebbs and the flows. And Todd Syopa, we talked about that change, the driver change in the show team. Now Mark Syopa going to be joining them, so Todd basically means he can just sit back and wait.
That's only right. I see he's got the guys are working hard in the shop.
Yeah.
So he's call it the mattress time.
Yeah.
But,
that's awesome.
He's feeding them well, keeping them working hard, and
that's gonna be wild.
It's going to be a good show.
I was doing a little looking, and it looks like the weather's gonna be a little bit warmer than last year, so that'll be nice. It
better be.
Yeah, it got a little chilly when we were out there.
Did you see any of the highlights of the cars pulling into the arena for Blizzard Bash and the promos that Ultimate Derby has?
Yeah.
You saw the snowflakes, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From the in-car cameras. Yeah. None of that.
Yeah.
No thanks. Not interested.
They showed when Songaluski and Pete put the wagon on its side, and you could hear all of our screaming in the background over the.
Everybody.
That was awesome. That was a wild heat right there.
We're going to be, with the sounds of it, we're going to be situated across the arena again, which is going to be kind of cool. So we'll have a little bit of an area to ourselves. Sounds like the green screen stuff has been sharpened a little bit, so we don't look quite so amorphous on that. And also the best part from our side, of course, everybody turned into a Demolition Derby show to hear us talk about tech geeky stuff like this. We've got communications back to the booth that are not hand signals.
That was hard to do across the arena.
Yeah.
Actual headset. So
You get a little disturbed when you start going, hey, like turn that up for you. No, down. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Going to be catching up with Jimmy Johnson here in just a few minutes on the back half.
Jimmy.
Yep, back half of this show.
That's cool.
I think the back half of this show, since it was a little bit up in the air on whether we were or weren't going to be in the studio next Monday, given some of the travel stuff, and packing and planning and loading of vans and spreading out bags and bags of equipment to make sure all of them are 49.5 pounds.
How many 49.5 pound bags are we bringing?
Looks like 3.
That's not bad.
3 bags.
That's way better than usual.
I know. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the money box. The audio box is going to go in the belly of the plane, probably with my clothes. So the only thing we're going to have to... The only thing... Yeah, well, you did factor into that decision.
I'm telling you, man, I think I got a pair of handcuffs.
That's
handcuff
what I was
the
gonna
beds
say.
where I stay. Like awesome, going through the airport. I'm sure they would love that.
I got a nice freaking leopard print freaking
Fedora?
fur hat fedora I could have wore.
That would be awesome. We would probably make the news somewhere out of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's no doubt in my mind that we'd make the news.
Maybe purple velvet freaking, purple
Oh, yeah.
velvet.
Yep. Now, is Mr. Decker flying out on the private plane later, or is he going to go commercial with us, or can't we talk about that on air?
He's going to be taking a helicopter from Broome, Tioga to the airport.
It's funny. It's funny you guys should bring that up. You'll notice that the camera now solely focused on Ben, and Josh
I
isn't
don't
here.
like that.
Josh isn't here, of course, because Josh isn't going to Blizzard Bash.
Why isn't Josh going to Blizzard Bash?
Well, he chartered his own flight, separate of ours, and now I guess that dude turns out he didn't have a pilot's license. So he's frantically trying. I'm just kidding. He's flying out with us. He's going to be at the front of the plane. We'll be able to be at the back.
Be at the back.
Yeah.
Do we still have to call him Mr. Decker, or can we not talk to him?
Actually, he asked that we don't speak to him.
We can throw peanuts at him.
That'd be cool. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, but
Hey, I noticed that there's no Crash Course team on the fantasy league yet.
that's where
Yeah,
we're.
we haven't
That's
Gonna do that also. Also, huh?
No, I was thinking we were going to do that tonight. We are going to catch up with Jimmy and then do that tonight. But Josh isn't here. But I don't think he was here last year. He was just texting us everybody that we
Yeah.
should have picked, and we
Yeah.
kind of ignored it.
So you guys screwed up. You should have picked these guys.
Yeah. So we'll do that on the back half of everything. I was gonna get Jimmy and catch up with him. He's got all sorts of stuff going on out there. He told me that he hasn't driven a Derby since Blizzard Bash last year.
Really?
Nice.
Well, he's had a lot of stuff going on. He's been pretty busy, so.
I tell you what he has done since Blizzard Bash of last year. He has bought all new stuff. Everything he has at Blizzard Bash this year is going to be brand new.
Ooh.
Fresh, never been run before.
Wow.
That could be good or bad.
Whoa.
I don't know about working the bugs out at Blizzard Bash. I know one thing. He's going to be scratching his head going, God damn, I don't think it was this hard last year. This year's going to be insane. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fairly hard, isn't it?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people. I was on We Crash the other day, and there's a lot of people talking about the concrete walls this year. That's a pretty big.
Yeah, we'll
Pretty
see.
big
I mean,
topic.
we'll see what happens. I mean, that's definitely should keep people up off the top of them, but I still think people are going to go up on top of them.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, you were saying about getting on top of...
The concrete.
I was talking
People were
about
talking
how
about the
concrete. It's a pretty big topic that we've been talking about.
There's been a lot of
Scratch.
conversation about the concrete stuff, and there's more to come of that topic once everything gets finalized. I know that we've had some private conversations that they need to stay private, but I know there's more coming of that topic, given some of the conversations that have cropped up. So many of those voices have been heard, and there's things in the works, but they need to be finalized. So
Very cool.
Nice.
so we'll kind of leave that there at risk of saying too much by saying not enough. You know what I mean? We'll just let that go. Jimmy Johnson joining us here. What, Ben?
We just won't tell the whole train of concrete trucks are going to be pulling into the expo center. You know.
What they've actually done is they put the Jersey barriers in place, and because they're afraid that they'll still move behind that, they've now decided to just pave off the tops of the barriers all the way to the grandstands. It's just the easiest thing to do.
Absolutely.
What could possibly go wrong?
I'd just pin them.
Into the concrete when I put ice back on in 10 days.
That's ice. It'll fill in with water.
That's
Who cares?
why there's no ice there. All the ice has been drained
I know,
out.
but
Yeah, but they want to again here after the Derby.
you just
No.
epoxy the hole shut and
This is why they don't let you plan this stuff.
hey,
They want the cars to be hard, but they don't need everything to be hard.
they get shit done.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the
You
bottom
do.
line of it.
You do. I need you to come by Tuesday. Help pack my van.
Pack your van.
Yeah, pack the van.
You're only going to the airport.
Yeah, but we don't want to listen to it squeak the whole way down 90. Brian doesn't anyway. He gets really upset about that stuff.
We'll bring 3 cans of Expandifoam and we'll be all set.
We'll box it right in.
yeah.
Well, either Ben or I'll be driving, so it won't matter.
It's fine. I'm just sitting in the back fretting.
Yes, you will.
Chewing my fingers to nothing. Jimmy Johnson joining us here on the hotline. Jimmy, man, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks, guys. How you doing?
It's been a
What's
while,
going on, Jimmy?
Been a while since we've had a chance to talk to you, but I understand everything is all systems go for Blizzard Bash next week.
Yes, sir.
So you got that Grand Fury all done and ready to go. That's good to hear, Jimmy.
It's coming right along. Been a while since I've built a good Mopar like this one.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you came back to the good side. I mean, I know you had some luck with them Buicks, but it's good to see you back with a Mopar, man. I'm proud of you.
them Buicks are overrated. I went back to a hard car.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
You feel all right?
Maybe it might be an RC Derby body.
Crap, dude. That's up to like, that's probably going to be close to 50 cars now.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's unreal.
That's great.
We got a home track for up here for that too, January the 24th.
I saw it day before my
Man,
birthday.
Jimmy, man, Chris was saying you all brand new stuff, huh? I don't think I'd want to be worrying about working bugs out of stuff at Blizzard Bash, or you think you're all set?
I think we're good, man. I think we're good. We did some upgrading this year and bought some new stuff, and thanks Ski Inc. and everybody else involved, and we just built some new stuff, and we're going to try her out, see how she handles.
Yeah, you got to get in that 1-inch club.
Yeah.
Getting in that 1-inch club, that's
Yeah.
right. You know, inch more you'd be a king, inch less you'd be a queen.
Now, you got that right. Makes a difference whether you're a millionaire or
Wow,
just a
that's
normal
awesome.
guy.
That's great. That might be the all-time
How'd
quote.
that go again?
Inch more you're king, inch less you're queen. I like
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
great. That could go on the next Jimmy Johnson shirt you make, Chris.
Yeah, wheels are already turning. Wheels are
We could have a sticker
awesome.
made
I
up
haven't
for
made
that
it
one,
to the
maybe.
Josh Decker side yet, you know, so I don't get my own T-shirt yet, but I'm sure Josh has got one in the makes by now.
It's
Oh,
already out,
absolutely.
Jimmy. It's been out for like a year.
Yeah, Josh was the first one to get a shirt,
Josh,
actually.
Josh was actually the first guy to get his own shirt, and he wears it everywhere proudly.
Oh, yeah, proudly.
It's the only one in existence, I guess. But
How is that? Made out of paint pens?
Oh, I hope Josh listens
I
to
know,
this or is listening
he's
to it.
listening,
He would
I'm
be
sure.
crying.
this is the best thing that's ever happened to Josh. Jimmy Johnson has busted his balls
Oh,
again.
absolutely. He hasn't done it in a year where he's more than due.
Oh, you know what? It's been almost a year, and I haven't got to bust these balls very bad. So, you know, unless I get that forehead bright red, and he's just like threatening to
Punch you in the
bodily harm on
throat.
people, he usually threatens it on everybody else because they're laughing because I'm making a joke. But
Yeah.
you know, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. You guys leave him alone. Quit picking on him.
Josh coming away over the weekend. JC Molly's picking up the win down there at that Halloween Madness show in Florida. Josh coming away with second place. Didn't get to take the second place trophy, though, because you can only get one trophy at a time.
You
So
only get one trophy. I ain't never heard of such a thing.
So he said give somebody else second place, and he
Yeah.
took
Mad
the
Dog.
Mad Dog Award. So now he's got most aggressive driver this year in Kentucky, Minnesota,
No, he didn't get it in Minnesota this year. He got it in Kentucky, Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania,
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
Rosno got it in Minnesota this year.
That's right.
It was a year ago.
I thought he
still
placed
had
it.
Josh has still had a pretty awesome year though.
He hasn't done too bad.
He's had good luck and done well everywhere he's went.
And I was jealous because he was that was asphalt down in Florida.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're on
They didn't do too
asphalt,
bad.
and that's awesome.
I think I'm too old to try that for the first time.
Jimmy did
Like
roll
back
out the
in-
new.
back in the old Dent days out in Florida. So,
Yeah, they were.
but
They were hard.
Yeah.
Jimmy rolled out the new Team Kansas shirts, which are
Very cool.
which feature
Yep.
Team Weston. And tell us a little bit more about Team Weston. That young boy that was he's got epilepsy and it's pretty aggressive, and it's something that sort of hit close to home for you.
we've got a young man here locally that is suffering from, I would have to say, probably some of the worst case of epilepsy I've ever seen. He's affected every day. They have to control it not only by meds but by diet. And when I mean by diet, everything's measured out to the grams. I mean, and a lot of stuff that's just not very pleasant to eat. You know, he don't get to sit down and eat some of the things that normal 9-year-olds would want to eat. And his diet's not, his appetite's not very good right now. Matter of fact, today he went in for another surgery and he has a feeding tube, and they went in today and had a tube replacement, which is what Mom tells me should have been a pretty quick procedure today. I haven't talked to her since. I did get a picture of the shirt sent over to him this morning, and Mom got to show it to him before he went into surgery, and he said, I think I'm going to need one of those.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
His spirits are
We're
good.
getting him pumped up about that. I don't think anybody can understand. This guy is just a tremendous young man. I mean, he takes everything he does, whether he's sick or not, is with a beautiful smile on his face. I mean, he's outgoing. He's just a brilliant young man, and he's hit the hearts of many around this area. And so we just decided, I've got a young boy that's 9 years old. He also has seizures. His seizures are way, way milder, not even in the same stratosphere as this young man's is. And we're lucky enough we can control it with medication. So it get kind of close to home, and I wanted to do something for this boy so we could, bring a little bit more brightness to his life. You know what I'm saying? And,
Sure.
and take him to Blizzard Bash, and we're proud to have his name on our team this year. And I went up to the hospital. I visited with him, and we named him our honorary team captain. And hopefully he's well enough and feeling good where he can come out and meet all the guys, all the other drivers, and kind of pick our teams, whatever, for us, and just have a good time and celebrate Weston,
It's awesome.
That's so awesome, Jimmy. I saw the picture when you first came out with us of you, sitting on this hospital talking to him, and it really touched me. I mean, I've seen you do it, in this case, and then last year, you did a really nice thing for us with Rick Englehart, and I just want to say, I mean, you are really truly one of the great men of this sport. I mean, you do what you can to help so many other people, and it's just such an awesome thing. And I mean, if you can, I've seen stuff like this, and the pleasure you got to be bringing that little dude. I mean, it's just an awesome thing that you and your team are doing, and any way we can help and make it any better or any more special. I mean, anything, let us know. We would love to help. But I mean, it's really great what you're doing for him. It's an awesome thing.
Well, it's just not me. Ultimate Derby, I made a few phone calls and pulled a few favors, and Ultimate Derby, they were touched by him also, and they're helping out, and they're raffling off the little razor deal there, the little Ranger, whatever it is, and going to bring some money to their family. Like Sam hit on when he was on the podcast. There's just a lot of expenditures when you've got a child that's in and out of the hospital. Mom's not even able to work because this is a full-time job.
Right.
Just taking care of Weston. Some of the other children get left out. There's just they do a marvelous job with all their children. But we want to do something where we can raise some money for them and get some of the needs that they need this time of year taken care of, whatever that may be. I'm not even worried about that right now. My main goal was with Weston personally. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that this young man has an experience that he'll never forget.
Absolutely.
We've done things in the past for fallen drivers. We've done things for other, sick drivers, just things like that. And we wanted to continue that and, do something for others, and maybe one of these days, somebody else, I may need something, or you guys may need something, and hopefully that it catches on, and other drivers do it, and I've seen it happen a lot of times, and drivers doing good things for good people. So,
has Weston picked out someplace for one of those sweet Blizzard Bash trophies?
You know what? I haven't had a chance. We were going to try to get over to Weston's this last week, and we just couldn't pinpoint a good time with his doctor's appointments, with some of the school activities, and of course the World Series and the playoffs with the Kansas City Royals. Go Royals, by the way. And too bad about your Mets, boys.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, we don't watch
Doesn't
baseball.
bother
It's
me.
all right.
Nope.
But it didn't work out, so we had to jump ahead and do some things. But our main goal was, just to make sure that we're representing, Weston in the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Kid loves superheroes.
The conversations that I've had with him, he has made it very clear what he's into. He's into superheroes. He's into this. My daughter does a lot of cosplay type stuff, and she dressed up in superhero Harley Quinn. Joker's sidekick, I believe, and she went up when we went to the hospital. She went up there with us, and
That's cool.
And he was excited. He absolutely loved it. Thought it was the best thing in the world. So
That's awesome.
So how
we
about
can just dress Josh up as the Joker. I think he'd be absolutely happy about that.
poor Josh?
Too hot.
Oh, that's an idea.
I think Josh should be dressed up as the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good Lord. Maybe I was going to say Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman? Come
Wonder
on.
Woman.
That's a low hanging fruit joke right there. Incredible Hulk. I think. Give it some thought. Mike DeFriscia could. If you're confused, talk to Mike DeFriscia. He can help clear that up for you.
Yeah.
Just clicked did it.
Yeah.
So Jimmy,
I'm
So
sorry.
did you guys make your picks for your fantasy league thing? I haven't even kept up with it, guys. I apologize. It's been busy. I haven't had a chance. But
we have not. That's
guys-
something that we were planning on getting into here tonight, a little bit later on. Do you want to hang out here for it when we go through it? That way you can tell us if we're airing.
Sure. I'll hang out with you guys.
All right.
I'll make Josh's pick for him.
Okay.
So, Jimmy, are you ready to go? I mean, is the car ready or what?
We're not completely ready, but we're on the downhill slide, guys. We got her in the bag by now. We've got everything, bodies back on, clips on, hoods on. Just gonna go back through the car from the front side and just finish everything up as we go back through.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
How's the rest of the team looking? I know Chicken was in pretty good shape. Justin Montgomery was doing okay, and you got Nick Gerlacher and Chad Markley.
Yeah, Nick is doing very, very well. I'm kind of proud of him. So
Good.
I went by there yesterday. I got some parts that he needed, so I went over there and we dropped them off, and then I went over there and met up with him later. And his car is coming along, looks super good. So I think we're setting really, really good right now.
Bunch of Buicks?
We got a few.
Jimmy, do you think there'll be more old iron in the team show this year than last year, or do you think guys will stay with the Fords, or how do you think it'll shake out this year?
Well, with a few of the rules that the way they are, I think we'll see a mixture, but I do believe we see a few more Vics.
Yeah.
A few more Vicks. Going the other way.
Yeah.
Well, the rules shifted. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Can you imagine? I know being the teammate, it's a little bit of a different situation, but can you imagine that Jimmy Johnson just shows up at your house and say, "How's that build coming anyway?" Because I got to see you in a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Would it be cool, or if that car wasn't ready?
Well, I mean, there's definitely pressure there, but I mean, it would be cool.
Would be cool. Would be cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, yeah.
What about, I mean, Ben, you sort of tipped your hand on what you think about that, but sort of the same question that Brian just put to Jimmy. What do you think that the diversity is going to be? Do you think that's going to lean more towards Vicks, or you think we're going to see more old iron this year?
Who's that, me?
Yeah, you're the only Ben here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's the way the rule shift was. I mean, I don't know.
You're a resident rules guru, so
I would prefer. I mean, personally myself, I'd run an old iron this year versus a Vic.
Now, why is that?
Just the way the few ins and outs and grays I highlighted and everything else. The few things that it just the way my version of building something and the way I would like to build it and the way the rules were and the way I read the rules and interpreted the rules, then I would be more apt to run an old iron car versus a Vic.
I've heard from a couple of different guys that ran old iron that said that they thought the rules were going to help the old iron a little bit more this year too. So it'll be interesting to see. We've touched on it before. I like seeing the old iron. I'm a fan of the old iron.
I just like the weight.
Yeah.
I like the sheer weight of it.
Yeah.
And just the sheer weight of it and the
Always remember, guys, it's not how you interpret the rules. It's how that rule was written to be interpreted.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
So I get two times through the inspection line, right, Jimmy? Because there's the way you interpret it, then there's the way that it gets interpreted. So then you kind of put them together and come back through the line a second time. Then everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, don't get me started, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, but I mean that's just the way I would be. I'm more apt to. Everybody thinks different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking different ways on the weight aspect of it. Most guys are thinking, well, the fixture you can get around that much quicker. Well, I'm here to tell you.
I think you're on target with the weight.
You know, and
Then you got to think about if you got the weight, what gear you want to run.
right.
Yeah.
That's I was
Exactly.
waiting for a chance. I agree with that completely. If you got that extra weight out there, what are you sacrificing in terms of mobility? Those Crown Vics can get around.
Jimmy, if you don't mind asking, do you run a 456 or 488, or don't you want to say?
Don't give them that option.
Oh, it runs up around 500.
Yeah. I
Really?
was gonna say
530? Wow.
Wait,
I'd run a 5. Personally, my personal thing, whether that it don't mean a bag of beans, but I mean I'd run 513s probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What would you run?
Or if you had a heavy enough car to run, you get up with you start out with a 513 gear. You got 23 on your car.
Right.
You've just lowered your gear pattern down to around a 580, 560, 580.
Right.
wow.
What do you think of that?
I think that's making a motor scream.
You've been there.
But yeah, you know, I mean, you have the motors built so they can take that. I mean, it all goes into it. I mean, I've never built or bought a built motor, but I would assume you would talk it over with your engine builder and say, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking, and between the two of you work out a package. But I mean, obviously Jimmy knows what he's got, and obviously he's not gonna run it too far past the limits. So I mean, obviously, if you're gonna run that, you're gonna have something that can handle it.
When Scott builds my motors, but Scott also watches derbies a lot, so he knows he knows exactly what how I run my car. So he'll build that engine to me. If I'm building, I short strokes, then that's what he's going to build my motor to. If I'm doing balls to the wall all the time, then he's going to build that motor like that. I mean, your engine builders, they pay attention to how you drive.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, we know they didn't have to worry about making your motor set to go balls to the walls all the time.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some video of Jimmy when it gets down to like 3-on-1, and Jimmy gets after it pretty hard when it gets.
You do remember Hot Springs when the bumper was turned inside out.
Yeah.
You do remember Hot Springs when he more or
Ended
less
it.
told us afterwards, I got enough of that shit, had enough of that shit, and it's time to get it over with.
Remember the final shot was flipping a guy into the wall?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Last year, the drive shaft that was grenaded to like 3 pieces, that had
Remember the
no.
last shot? You remember when Jimmy Johnson was putting his car on the trailer because it was junk? Yeah.
I don't.
I don't remember that.
I don't.
I've never seen one of your Buicks get
I don't
jumped.
remember that. I remember it really well.
I remember Jimmy Johnson telling everybody how to load the car.
It wasn't good when we got it home. It was ugly.
That's awesome.
But
That was the one-
Get through the heat, though.
That was the one where after the heat, it had bent in 3 different places in 3 different directions on the right side. Correct? Is that that car?
No, it been in the frame rails underneath the car.
Yeah.
It didn't bend out in the front areas. It bent in the middle of the car in stupid spots. Where they're not supposed to bend.
That
Not
was-
sure if
That was the conversation. The stupid spots. That was.
not sure if the bombarding from all the cars hitting me at the same time did it, or if I did it when I hit the old boy up against the concrete blocks. But anyway, it was pretty much junk. So.
Yeah.
What we'll do real quick, Jimmy, I appreciate you coming and spending some time with us here. What we'll do is we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back to it. We'll run through some ads. We'll hit a couple orders of business, and then we'll start picking some drivers. You want to just hang out with us?
That'll be fun, bud.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Demo Derby Masters offers a wide array of stock derby parts and accessories that have all been derby tested. Demo Derby Masters also offers custom fabrication, meaning your homespun garage idea can become a finely produced reality. Their team of engineers and Demo Derby drivers have designed, manufactured, and derby tested all parts to ensure quality and durability, even though there's no extreme condition. DemoDerbyMasters.com also carries a full line of helmets, fire suits, gloves, and belts, and Kaiser's own branded oils and fluids. Parts are manufactured, housed, and shipped out of their 140,000 square foot facility located in Coopersville, Michigan. Order online at DemoDerbyMasters.com or contact them by phone at 800-472-2464 or email info@DemoDerbyMasters.com. The Crash Course would like to thank DerbyParts.com, an industry leader in aftermarket parts, DerbyParts.com has become the go-to source for builders looking to make one stop for all their derby needs. A proud partner of the Reckless Warrior Series and a title sponsor at the Bash for Cash, DerbyParts.com offers products from the top manufacturers in the industry, including fellow Reckless Warriors partners Brian Muir and Big Rock Derby Products, and performance aftermarket standouts MSD, Edelbrock, Schonfeld, and Samson Tires. Inventory includes cradles, ultra belts, sliders, flex plates, pedal kits, mounts, fans, radiators, adapters, tanks, and much, much more. DerbyParts.com truly offers one-stop shopping for builders ready to perform at any level. Go online and check them out. From bumper to bumper, you can find it on DerbyParts.com.
The Crash Course Podcast is proud to thank Overkill Derby Products for their continued support. Overkill is one of the original Derby-specific vendors to jump up as the sport was exploding, and like their equipment, they're still standing. Overkill specializes in engine cradles, mounts, shifters, and gas pedals. Overkill also remains one of the only sources for Chrysler and Mopar engine armor. Jump online, check out Jeff at Overkill, tell them you heard about Overkill on the Crash Course Podcast. That's Overkill Derby Products at overkillderby.com. Ultimate Derby's Blizzard Bash is back this fall. The hallmark of the Kansas Expo Center's Derby schedule in Topeka, Kansas has been expanded to 4 days this coming November. The event will include something for every fan within Demolition Derby. Inspection opens November 11th with the heat draw party in the Vendors Arena. Action starts November the 12th at 7 p.m. with the National Team Bracket and the Qualifying Team Bracket opening rounds. Action returns Friday, November the 13th with National Bracket and Team Bracket Round 2. The 80s Mod Heats and the 80s Leaf classes are also on the card. Saturday's card includes the 1,000 to win RC Derby planned for 1 o'clock in the afternoon at the vendors area right in the Ski Inc. Pavilion. That's before the full-size cars take the track at 6 o'clock with B features for both the team brackets, the 80s Consi, the stock one and dones for Old Iron, the 80s and the Compacts, the Power Wheels Youth Division, and Pro Mods are also on Saturday's card. Championship Sunday rolls off at noon with modified compacts and Old Iron leading the charge. Then trucks, the 80s feature, and the qualifying bracket feature leading to crowning the national championship in the team finale. All the action is available on pay-per-view and is presented in part by Speedway Motors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, in addition to DerbyTees.com, Near It Sliders, Ski Inc., Chambliss Welding, and Ultimate Derby. Don't forget, Ultimate Derby has Capital Carnage right around the corner. April 22nd to 24th, a $30,000 to win event is set for that last weekend of April, right back at the Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. For more information, visit www.blizzardbash.com or www.ultimatederby.com.
There's nobody. You ran Axel Savers around here, everybody'd be like, huh?
And we are back. Just want to make everybody a note: up to 1 inch cradles now available from Overkill. So
I'm going to tell you right now, I've been saying it for the last 3 episodes. Go bigger. If you want to sell them, 1.5 inches, 2 inches.
That'll be decided the 2 inch next year.
2 inch. Just stop.
Where's the stop? You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but I think it's insane.
Where's the stop? But why not? If you do 1 inch, all you got to do is countersink the bolts, countersink the holes, and then there you go. Run 2 inch. So they'll weigh 1,800 pounds instead of what, 900.
Still got a shot at entering your fantasy league roster for Blizzard Bash, and expenses paid trip to Capital Carnage coming up next April is the top prize. There's decals and graphics packages available on the way from Engstrom and from George Highnote, GH Graphics. Reckless Abandon stuff out there as well. And still got more people looking to donate and kick on that stuff, so we're excited for that. Just want to let everybody know the pay-per-view link is now active, www.ksexpo.com/BlizzBashPPV. Put the link up there. It's also available on the Crash Course page. You can find that there if you want to get signed up now. That way you can test the system before we get out there and get live. You can at least make sure that you can pull those windows up. And then last quick order of business, Tommy Dowd, congratulations on the win over there at Black Rock. I don't know if we hit on that yet.
There wasn't he did a good job. There wasn't very many cars that showed up. The guy did put a first derby, got thrown on his lap, first derby. So, I mean, he's already talking about next year possibly doing 2 shows and guaranteeing money and all the good stuff that everybody wants to hear. And
well, I talked to Jamie Eldridge because I know they go over there a lot, and people didn't know what was going on. And he said that he's dealt with the guy a lot. He said he's a really good guy. He said he's good to his word, and he said that He said next year he expects things to improve over there.
Talking about Mike Jackson?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mike Jackson. That
Yeah,
was,
Mike's a good
I
dude.
I knew the last name, but I couldn't think of the first name. So
He ran the black number 88 modified for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's,
That Mike
I think
Jackson.
there was
And then there's Stacy.
Stacy,
Stacy's
and then I
his
think there was
brother.
an Andy. I think there was 3 of them.
It could be. I couldn't tell you for sure on that one.
But-
Final quick note: Crash Course New Year's Eve. We've had a ton of people sign up in the last 2 days. It's been insane, just
Good.
piling in there. Rick Clark is going to be coming out, and he's going to be vending parts now as well. We've had a couple other people express some interest in it, which was cool. So there are still tickets available. If you want to jump in on that, that would be excellent to see everybody come and hang out, ring the new year with Crash Course, and. Jimmy, the numbers are actually out. Jimmy Johnson still joining us here on the hotline. I don't know. Should probably mute the phone next time. But I'm going to Facebook so I can pull it up right now. I believe that Bobby Whitaker is the most popular driver in terms of who has been selected thus far. In terms of the different, let me find Zach Olson's. I had this thing up and then I closed the window, and that's what got us in trouble here a few minutes ago. Let's put this on Ben for a second. Nobody needs to
Put it
watch
on
me.
me.
Well, nobody needs to watch me search the internet for the moment, do they?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I suppose. Here we go. I got him back now. If it'll let us open it, that would be great. There it is. So Bobby Whitaker is the most popular driver at this point. He is appearing on 34% of the nearly 500 teams.
Wow.
That's because
Good deal.
that kid can drive a Red Ryder wagon to a victory. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
We've
he's
seen him
pretty
do some pretty
he's-
exotic things in the car, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt.
You can't count Bobby out.
good. No.
He's got 100
I don't care what the driver's field is. Bobby's top notch.
Yep.
I mean, you got to give the kid props.
Absolutely.
100%.
but 163 different picks. He's ahead by 30 picks over Ryan Songalewski, who's second. He's on better than a quarter of the teams, 133 times he was selected. Don Santel, Dustin Ingram following there in the top 5. The final top 5 car, now passing Jason Brodzinski with 94 selections on 20% of the teams. Jimmy Johnson, 5th overall. Then Jason Brodzinski, Mike Brown, Darryl Monroe, Luke Johnson, Steve Siopa, Jordan Ingram, Lance Pritchett, Vince Olivius, Brent Clemens. You got to go a long way down before you see one of the team underdog drivers, and they were the defending champions from last year. So, kind of watching that as
Where was the Hammer and Hoosier? I didn't hear his name.
Bobby Brockway is behind. It's Brent, then C.J. Barnes, Bobby Brockway, and Booger. Bobby Brockway on 42 different teams. 9% of the teams have selected him. So, there's just about everybody's gotten selected at least once. Now, this is the stuff that I think was even more impressive. These are the qualifying pool teams. Colton Newhoff, number 1 there on 21% of the teams, 97 picks.
Well, I'll tell you what, Colton's a hell of a driver.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
people can say whatever they want about him, but that kid's a good builder and a good driver, and he's going to be tough to beat out
The
there.
one that I'm not seeing that he might not be running though is
Who?
Logan Duvall.
Yeah, Logan is.
Yeah, Logan's.
I talked
I
to
haven't seen
Logan
him
at
on any of these rosters.
Yeah, I talked to Logan at Basher Cash, and he said he didn't think he'd be running out there. It's pretty decent to tow for him. So
Because that's another kid that's.
Logan's a
yeah.
hell of a
Yeah.
wheel man, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Jesse Hoffmeister, Matt Hoffmeister following in line behind them. Colton 97 picks, Jesse Hoffmeister 80, Matt Hoffmeister 62, Justin Worsig, Kyle Wetzel also getting a lot of traction, 57 and 56 points respectively there. Chris Quick next on the Twisted Intentions team, and then Chris Lancaster with 50 selections, 11% of the teams picking him. Now, we also talked a little bit about the team distribution last year. Team distribution itself, 19% of the teams have at least one driver from Team Ski. That's 364 selections.
Wow.
Wow.
It's quite a bit. It's almost 20% of the teams are Team Ski selections, which is kind of neat. Team IFD, which is the Army Green and Tan, that is Bobby Brockway's team, 351 picks. Team Toast and IFD, 227. DMP, the Orange and Black crew, 182 selections, and Team Kansas with 147. And then on the qualifying bracket, 202 selections for Shanley Motorsports, Team Extreme, and Twisted Intentions following with 194 and 149. Zach Olson going through and compiling all those statistics.
That's what's a surprise to me. I don't know, Jimmy, if you know or not. It was a surprise for me not seeing Chad on DMP. Chad Rhodes is not on DMP's team this year, right? It's CJ.
Yeah, I think Chad wanted to take a little break. I don't think
Okay.
it was anything. He was kind of like me, just wanted to take a break. I think
Right.
you'll still see Chad Rose up there. I'd be surprised if he didn't come watch,
I hope so.
help out.
Cool dude.
Chad's a good shit. I like Chad a lot. I mean,
Yep.
we got to shoot shit a lot, quite a bit. But
Yeah, that whole team. That whole team is good guys. Every one of them.
yep.
Jimmy, the first round that doesn't look like. I mean that's going to be hard making it out of the first round. There's a lot of high quality teams in that first round. That's going to be tough. I think. How do you feel about it?
Oh yeah, I don't think you're going to run into many slouches there, but it's going to be it's just going to be luck. A lot of carnage in the first round, I believe.
How many cars? I mean, do you think there's going to be a high percentage of cars that don't make it back from the opening round? Or is it going to be a case where they're going to be damaged but at least can get their stuff put back together with the aid of the fix-it plates?
When there's a will, there's a way. Barring broke blocks or something like that happening to somebody, I think back but they'll be hurt. But
No, Jimmy's phone's
We're
coming.
losing you. We're losing you, Jim. Starting to break up.
I said that key element's going to be whoever can skate through with less damage.
Yeah.
If we have a team go down, like us last year, we went down in the first round. We had bad luck. I mean, Chad broke a block. I broke a dry shaft. We were down a teammate, and we had another teammate just being abused.
Yeah.
So we had to come back through that B selection over there and go that route. But to save our spot. But it's luck like that right there. I mean, if we have somebody go down like that and they come through and they look good, that'll be something to look at that first round.
Well, that's one of the things that we're looking at in terms of picking our fantasy league teams. Right now, we've got the pool of drivers that we need to pick as a collective. Who is going to be pick number one? Who is the first guy that we go to? Is it Jason Brodzinski? Is it Ryan Songalewski? Is it Mike Brown? Is it Bobby Whitaker? Is it Jordan Ingram? Is it Dustin Ingram? Is it Bobby Brockway?
Jimmy Johnson.
Brent Clemens? Jimmy Johnson? Or Daryl Monroe? Who
Who are you picking,
are
Ben?
we going with, Ben? What do we do here?
Who's your first pick?
This
You
is
know
not.
me. I'm like the spur of the moment, dude.
Yep, that's
Well-
it. You're the spur of the
And
moment.
what did I tell you guys? I wasn't going to make a pick till after the 14 hours underneath the inspection
Oh,
line.
here we go.
Oh, this will be closed by then. We got to have the team by then.
You know who we didn't mention there in that
Who's that?
rundown, and I'm sure that we're going to get
Don
her.
Santel.
Don Santel.
Or Sam Bandow.
Sam
Banda.
Banda.
Or Todd, Mark, or Steve.
Right, the Siopas.
Oh, right, they're going.
Yeah.
So we got four main pool selections
Honestly,
right now.
I think
I think
we're going to do it this way. But honestly, what I was going to say was when we did this, I was going to suggest that for each category, we each put two names in a hat and then shake it all up and pull them out one at a time for each pick. 'Cause, I mean, it's hard to pick, man.
it's not easy, but
My first pick would be beginner's luck. It would be a beginner's luck thing this year. Don't get me wrong; it's not all. It's some of it's luck, but I'm not saying this bad at all about them guys. But beginner's luck would go to Steve Siopa this year out there. Okay, that would be one of my picks. The other one would probably be I would probably say Jimmy. Not just because he's on the show and because I like Jimmy, but I think he's due.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely
no doubt.
due in all the. I'm going to sound hippie-ish, but all the planets are going to be aligned for their cause and everything
Yeah.
else. I think everything is. I think I really
Yeah,
some shit's pulling for him. You
No
know,
doubt.
and that's
no doubt. What do you think, Chris?
I think there's a couple of people that we're overlooking. Big
there's
time.
several people we're
Big time.
overlooking, but I mean that's the thing.
One of
If
the
you go
guys
with-
that I almost guarantee that we have to have on the team this year is Zach Fetro. If you want to score points, that guy's going to go deep this year. Because, like Ben said, he's due. He's one of those guys that's under the radar. He's listen to the team that the guy's got: Matt Rosnow, Kurt Strong, Scott Mannering.
Yeah,
You've also got Adam and Craig Lemanager out there.
yeah, on two different teams.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with a show like this.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
hard to
you
do.
have the best guys from everywhere, and now you're trying to. I mean, you might as well just like you said, throw everything in a hat and just pick, because it's anything can happen.
All right, Ben's mentioned.
I pulled two in. Pulled two in for the first 2 slots. Steve Syop and Jimmy Johnson. I think it's hard to bet. I think
Yeah, I agree.
I think those are hard to bet against. So then what about Bob Meyer? Bob Meyer was the guy that he's won this show before with Team E2. Matt Schilling, Jesse Ravitch,
Yeah.
Jeremy Blake.
Booger's
out there with all of JYD, Zach Staver, Jaron Hirschman. Nothing against those guys. I don't see them winning because they're just going to be sledgehammers out there, like they always are. They're taking nothing away from their build. I don't think that they're winning the show. And you need to have at least one driver in that main feature event in order to score points out there in that last round. These folks that have filed their teams, they have 2 drivers from the same team. If that team makes the feature, that's going to help a ton. There's a bunch of people that have picked all the same team members.
Yeah.
See, I want to pick a ton of people.
I disagree.
Go on.
I disagree.
Tell me more.
You're gonna have to have a couple sledgehammers in there.
Exactly.
And you gotta look at it as your sledgehammers. I'd split it up between my sledgehammers and my longevity drivers.
Yep.
And whoever does that and does it right is gonna win it.
Yep.
Mike Worth. Put Mike Worth on the team?
CJ Barnes, Mike Brown. I mean,
So
CJ, I mean, last year, CJ, if you want to call a sledgehammer, he was like a vibratory hammer out there. I mean, he was sending shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, it's, like I said, I mean, it's just, I hate picking because
you know that people are listening right now, and you are going to get a fallout of emails.
Oh yeah, last year we got in trouble for that picking Pete. We heard it.
I know. I know.
I told Pete I bet against him because that's usually how it rolls. Whoever I bet against usually wins. So,
I mean, if we're picking sledgehammers, I mean,
You don't pick all the sledgehammers. What I was trying to say about that is
you got to
no, but you have to have a sledgehammer though.
You need one. You need a guy like that. But if you're looking at scoring points in as many rounds as possible, you know that sledgehammer's the guy that's knocking other people out.
You go into a main event. You don't go into that main event picking the fight with the maddest hammer on the yard.
Nope.
No.
So there's going to be a few of them guys that are going to slip through.
Yeah.
Then you got your longevity drivers. Everybody likes them. You know, they're the ones that, along with everybody, they're going to slip through the cracks because nobody's going to go start a fight with them.
Remember the year that
I'm trying to say is you're going to have to go. You got to pick it strategically. This one guy out here, he's either going to nobody's going to want to pitch him off because he's going to open it up and he's going to waste his car on you.
Mike Brown.
Then there's the longevity driver. That's the guy that's out there that everybody likes, everybody gets along with, and will work with him, and can count on him in the background because they know that he'll do what he said, and they're going to do what they said. Okay, so he's going to slip through the cracks that way.
Here's the easy one for you, Chris. You pick number 3.
At Blizzard Bash, you just got to mix it up. You know, as far as the young guns that we got coming in out of the other class that they're picking up on, you know, that's going to be a toss-up. Got a good group of guys there, so you on them two picks. It's gonna that's to me that's the rougher picks is over there on that side of the board.
So right now we've got Steve Syop, Jimmy, Mike Brown, and number 4. I'm torn on because I'm looking at paper, past finishes and stuff, and one of them is David Gockel, and I like Cordell Hansen there too.
But think about this too. I think that you have to take one of my opinion, you would have to take one of the 3 guys that have been on Team Guard / IFD the longest because look at the success they've had.
They've done okay.
Just okay. Yeah.
They've done okay.
I mean, how and no disrespect to anybody else, but how can you bet against them?
Right.
I mean, you know, there's Bobby. You bring Bobby Whitaker in, and then the third Ingram, who's won everything this year.
When you're talking about,
there's I'm losing his name. Their other team member.
Hang on, I'm getting back to it. You're talking about Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan
Durham.
I mean, that's a hard team to bet against.
That's the one I was clicking on.
What is Bobby driving?
Which Bobby?
Bobby Whitaker.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess a Whitaker wagon.
I can't believe he's going to run a wagon.
He was right there at the end last year. That wagon.
It'd be rough to bet against Bobby Whitaker in a wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough to bet against him in a Vic. I mean, holy shit.
I don't know. I would go out on a limb and say that he'd be back with another wagon. I mean, I thought he did well with the one he had last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
And I look back over there, and I'm thinking to myself, it's hard to see anybody out there like Ski Inc. You know, it's hard to say off that. You know, with Don Santel being on there, that's a sleeper right there.
Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's only won 8 features this year so far.
But I mean,
No, 8 I asked him.
yeah. But I mean, Santel. Yeah, you're right. It's Santel, but and they got the perfect mix on their team.
Oh yeah, they do.
You know, they got the mega hammers on there, and
Mega hammers.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Santel. I mean, to me,
he's a closer.
to me, in my eye, he's the closer. He's the money man.
Oh yeah, no
you
doubt.
know,
That's exactly right. I believe that wholeheartedly.
You know,
I've seen Don do it too many times.
oh, he's just patient,
Yeah,
so
he is.
freaking patient.
Yeah,
it
very,
just
very
drives
patient.
you nuts. It's
doubt.
like, man,
So who'd you pick, Chris? You're the guy running the computer. Who'd you put on there for number 4?
Don Santel.
okay,
Can't argue that one
you
either.
can't argue with that.
Can't argue.
Like you said, there's just so many people.
Yeah,
you
there
just
is.
got to bite the bullet. Well, or we can, this
Because we
is
have
just-
to
this
pick
is-
2 more drivers.
This is just one team.
Yeah,
See,
this
we
is
could
one
go.
team.
We could go. We
Well,
could do.
I may or may not have picked one already, and Chris probably knows the name of it. If he's
may
looked
or may
closely.
not have. I changed the name of it for him too.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Why'd you change the name?
I changed the name of it.
See,
See, you didn't even go look to see if it was there yet.
No, I did, but I thought that was the name I put on it.
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, you know what? I changed Jake Sherman's team name.
Okay.
I changed that one.
we're just gonna side bet the day of
'Cause
the
that-
show
yeah,
up in the booth.
Do that too.
We're gonna have the stopwatch there, right?
That
Oh,
way,
yeah,
stopwatch
I have a
then?
stopwatch. But like I told you, I'm gonna be down the inspection line, so you guys can make your picks, and then I'll make mine.
Ben always
Right.
does that.
Yeah, I know. That's you,
And Ben's usually
unfortunately, you don't know anybody that's gonna be able to put your team in.
I ain't worried about it.
He's gonna scratch at his hand.
I'm not worried about it.
So qualifying team driver. We're gonna
Daniel Ort.
Dan Ort.
Yep.
Is he on there?
Yeah. Yep. That team right there, KOM. They had the toughest draw last year.
Absolutely.
They battled to the end with JYD, and then they came out and battled to the end with a fresh team in the consolation. I mean, those guys were. They were right there.
Yeah, they did very well.
I'm
last year.
barring anything, I predict they wouldn't qualify in this year.
Yeah.
I predict it. No pressure, Daniel, Kenny, Dylan, rest of the crew. But I predict it.
Lancaster for the other one, or Newhofen, or Matt Ertman, or
Colton Newhoffen.
Colton.
See, I like Ertman, but man, his right foot gets himself in trouble. And,
We know what that's
well,
like.
in this, especially the different dynamics. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know full disclosure on the full track dynamic, but that is going to be a major play. I think just like it has in previous years, but I think he's going to have a major play in a different aspect of it.
No doubt.
You know, I mean, he's going to look
Either
like,
Hoffmeister.
How many do we have to pick? 2 or 3?
Oh, it's 2. I'm just making decisions harder. We got 7 minutes to fill.
I'd take Colton.
Colton's
I'd take Colton
in.
and Daniel.
So, Team Crash Course, the lineup is going to be Steve Siopa in slot number 1, Jimmy Johnson, Mike Brown, Don Santel. Out of the national bracket qualifying team drivers, Daniel Ort and Colton Newhofen. Sorry, Chris Lancaster, I advocated on your side as passively as I could. Submit button, it's in and sent. And I just so everybody knows, I did not fill out any of the tiebreaker stuff.
Yeah, obviously.
Because
obviously, if you
we're
won
not
that, we're not going to take any.
Yeah, we're not taking anything out of that.
But it's always cool to compete.
What do you think, Jimmy? Did we do okay?
I think you did great, guys.
Thanks.
Great.
Jimmy gave
wouldn't-
him some guidance.
I wouldn't have picked me, but I would have. You guys did great.
Got to pick you, man.
But we didn't pick Bobby Brockway.
yeah.
I anticipate the text messages any minute.
I've been in touch with Bobby a little bit. He's pretty busy. He may not hear the show tonight, so
That's safe.
You know what's great though is, and I've touched on it 100 times.
The fact that we could have picked a perfect team and still had friends upset with us.
No. What's great is the fact that so many of the greatest builders in America are still busting their butt last minute to get their stuff done.
Right.
Just like we do for our local
for
shows.
sure.
It's great to hear.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good. You know what I mean? The best of the business are still waiting. They're not waiting, but it's the last minute, and they're, I texted a few guys this weekend, and they were awful busy trying to get stuff finished up. But
You're not a true derby car builder in my eyes unless the welds are still hot when you load it on the trailer.
last minute, man, it's always fun last minute.
know?
Always fun last minute. Of course, there's Jimmy. He's ready to go. He's gonna have a Mountain Dew and check the car over and make sure everything's good.
Most likely, right?
Yeah, no. You took that the wrong way. You definitely took that the wrong way. We got plenty of work to do. I just went and got all the hard stuff done first. Now we just got to go back through and take care of a lot of the dilly-dally stuff. Sometimes that takes longer than what the big stuff does, it seems like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it always seems like you're all done, and then like, I'm just gonna go back and check everything and wrap this up, wrap that up, and then 8 hours later, it's like, yeah, okay, something you thought you was gonna take an hour.
Jimmy, we haven't talked to you in a while, and not to put you on the spot, but what did you think of the rule changes for this past year's Metal Mayhem? Did you like it going back stock, or what did you think of that?
That's for stock guys. I really am not a stock driver. I cringe at the point of going out and wrecking a car in one show. Mm-hmm. And you're going to do that at Mayhem, especially if it's a bone stock show. I think it was at this time, I think it was the right thing to do. I think they really, they picked up a lot of cars and bumped some money, which is great for the drivers, and it worked out really well for them. And it looks like that Razorback Rumble is going to do they're going stock on that show this year.
Wow.
That's cool.
You think that? Boy, it seems like
80s stocko, 80s stock.
Oh.
Man, I don't know if that would be as
I don't know,
exciting.
man, yeah, that's. I don't know. That's kind of like farting.
It's going to be rough. Going to be rough.
Yeah, very rough. 80 stock. Wow.
Huh.
Have to do a little fine tuning there.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? What do you think this year, Jimmy? Your opinion this year for Blizzard on Blizzard Bash? I mean, just my opinion. I mean, obviously, I haven't built a Blizzard Bash car before, but in your opinion, are the cars? I think they're going to be a lot harder this year.
Yeah. I don't know about being any harder. I think you're going to see some things bend in some weird spots.
Right. Right. I wonder. I mean, it's you always hear about talks about cars are getting so hard. Cars get real hard and hard and hard and hard, and then next thing you know, then instantly the conversation goes to, well, we got to detune them a little bit. We got to soften them up.
Well, and I think that Blizzard Bash is ready to go backwards a little bit.
Right.
It needs to come back off the builds. I think they're gotten completely. We're getting so hard now that it's. I'm all for the protectors, and I'm all for the braces, rear ends, dry shafts, transmissions, engines. But when a build takes you a month, 2 months to build one car,
that's
a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
And maybe need to back it off a little bit and detune a little bit. Just a few things. I mean, I don't think they need to go too far, because when you're doing double elimination, you got to have a little bit.
Oh, absolutely,
to be able to make it through stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's gotten to where I think it's hard to even write some good rules for, because everybody's in build mode. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, it's time to back the rules off a little bit, I think. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious because everybody's. That's what makes the world go around. Everybody's opinions and thoughts and.
Well, I think that everybody would agree that they would rather be in the shop less than they are when it comes to Blizzard Bash time. I mean, Blizzard Bash time, you really got to you just got to spend a lot of time in the shop.
Oh yeah, I mean
It's just the way it is, and
yeah.
and it's still going to be that way, but a little bit, if you were in the shop 30, 40 less hours or whatever, and
Yep.
not racking your brain all the time with something to come up with,
Right.
it would be a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's just getting so finicky of you have to make sure every T's crossed, I's dotted. I mean, just right to the T anymore.
It's just the competitiveness of
Yep.
the beast. I mean,
Yep.
it's not a bad thing. It's
No.
not a good thing. I mean, it's this competitive nature that
Yep.
it's going to happen. And so, if we had less open areas that we could do stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
we'd probably go back to where you find a gray area. You found a gray area.
Right.
You didn't find 20 gray areas.
Right.
And exploit that.
Right.
And you feel like you got to do it because you're competing. I mean, if you
Right.
don't do it, somebody else is going to, and that's just on a builder driver standpoint. Promoters have a different view on that, I'm sure, but I just think everybody would rather sit and watch, play with their kids or watch a little TV every once in a while.
Oh right.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
definitely.
No
Yep.
doubt.
Yep. No, I was just curious, Jimmy, is all.
We have some people that are upset with us.
Oh, of course you're gonna.
How many emails have you got, Chris?
Several already.
Who's mad at us? Or
Band
don't
out.
you want to say over there?
Nope, it's actually not Bando at all. Nope, Bando's. I haven't heard from him. I
Yeah,
don't think
he's busy.
I don't think he even listens to the show. It's fine. Couple guys that are very bothered that we didn't give them any credit in going through the tiebreakers, that they feel like we blew them off, and it wasn't anything that was intentional. But we can zip through them quick. 80s modifieds.
Wait, before we do that though, the reason we didn't do that is because we're not putting a team together to try to win. Obviously, we just are doing it to have fun.
Right.
That's why we didn't go through the tiebreakers. And there was no disrespect.
We can zip a
absolutely.
couple of them off quick. I mean, I've already got in my head some of these guys that I want to see. In the 80s modified, it's going to come down
Arden.
Shea Walden.
Oh no, Arden's an old
Shea Walden, Dookie Scroach, or
Dookie.
Dookie, or
Yeah.
Jeremy Frederick.
Dookie.
Dookie. Corey, excuse me. Old Iron Modified,
Arden.
Arden.
Yep.
I think that's a good choice. I was also looking at Scott Svingen there. Compact, which one is this? This is Compact Stock. Taylor Maslowski, Randy Maslowski.
Got to take Randy.
I think that's probably a given. Outlaws, Jared Clausen. Is there a debate there? Jack Teagarden.
Well, it's Jack Teagarden or Clausen,
Yeah,
but
probably
I
Clausen.
think it's going to depend on. I got to know what the Walls are going to do
Yeah.
before I make that pick.
You don't make picks anyway. In terms of the truck, so we go with
Paul
Muse.
Cox.
Ooh, debate here. Which is it? Muse, Cox, Cox.
I got to go with Paul Cox.
I'll go with Muse. Chris, you're the tiebreaker.
John Muse.
Nice.
I
That's
went with
probably a
Muse.
good pick. Cox is a celebrity.
Compact Modifieds, the Nate Middendorf.
Yeah.
Doesn't Booger run a compact too?
Not on this list.
Drellinger isn't running this year.
No. Nope. He didn't get a car together for this one. And then the last one is 80 stock. Travis Bowden was the first one, and then Jason Nuttleman also has a
Nuttleman.
Nuttleman. Ty McKellick, Nate Shields, either one of them. Artie Clark, Nuttleman. All right, I got that in.
Yeah, no disrespect to anybody. We just were getting the man out.
Yeah, because for some
If we
Wild-
managed to win that would be
wild
bad.
thing that we win that, it's like,
Well,
no.
we're not, because
No,
if it starts looking close,
We'll take our name right
I'll
out.
just delete the team.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
gonna delete the team.
Yeah.
Start changing all the
Yeah.
selections.
It's kind of like the winning raffle car ticket, the raffle ticket
Yeah.
that you want to donate back. You just,
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we've
Awesome.
we've hit it all. There's the team. We'll get all those team updates logged in the last 40 minutes. We have had 20 teams submitted,
That's awesome.
Nice.
so it's been pretty busy. Gotta work through some of those updates, and we should be moving on. Jimmy, thanks a lot for hanging out with us here tonight.
Yeah, Jimmy. It's pretty
Good
cool,
insight,
man.
good
Thank you.
conversation as always.
Not a problem, guys. I appreciate it.
We'll plan on catching up with you here in about a week.
All right, man. Look
Take it
forward
easy,
to seeing
Jimmy.
You guys. Yeah, you guys don't need me to pick you up at the airport and give you a ride, do you?
If you want to. I think we should be okay.
We'll cut through some ditches, go the wrong way. Do some
Tell you
shit.
what, that's
It'll be all right.
That all-
the way to go.
that all did happen.
David
Yeah.
squeal its tires.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Better yet, just let me drive.
Ben, please don't roll Jimmy's truck.
That would be cool.
Guys,
We'll be in touch.
Thanks,
it's been a
Jimmy.
pleasure, man.
See you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jimmy. We'll see you soon. There goes
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Jimmy Johnson. Good talk with Jimmy, as always. That's going to do it for this edition of the Crash Course, episode number 106 in the books. We're going to come back. Actually, we brought it back around just about full circle here. We started talking about this at the beginning of the show next Monday, how we may or may not have a show, but Christy King going to be making the drive down, one of the writers for Derby Inc. magazine, major contributor with 448 Photography. She's going to
Hopefully,
be.
it won't be a blizzard when she comes on this.
I know. Let's hope not. Looks like the
I
weather
think
should be
that's
all
what
right
she's
for
trying
her.
to
Yeah,
go
she's trying
down.
to duck that. So
Yeah.
we'll be catching up with her next week right here in the studio. But until then, we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com. The 2015 Wadena Grand Slam. Bull Lockwood Motorsports and the 2015 Keystone Nationals. Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com. Ultimate Derby and Blizzard Bash 2015. Demo Derby Masters. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel at RecklessAbandonGear.com. And Derby Inc. Magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLinks1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.